Jacksonville, Florida. Friday night, part 2. Drove about 4 miles up the road from Warehouse 31 Unleashed. I'm gonna check out 13th floor haunted house. I'll buy tickets, calm down. I think this may be all that I'm able to show you because there's no video in the house again. That kind of looks like a supermarket.
1 hour later.
So we just got done with 13th floor. There's 2 attractions in there, so you go through one and you go through another. Chain them back to get back. Really scary. There are a lot of good scares going on in there. I will say I think the first house that we went through was better than the second house. But the set design in both, unbelievable. The second house set design, unbelievable. Giant animatronics, things that you would not expect at a mom and pop or local haunt. I honestly couldn't tell you the theme of either of the buildings. I know in one house we went through a section where there was kind of a zombie or dead man eating at a table, but I'd have to go in the car and actually look at the themes. But just overall, ambience in the house, scare factor in the house, things that go bump in the night, monsters, creatures, all over the place. So they have the 2 houses going. They're gonna have a escape room set that's going to be set up inside there, but it's not open yet. They're working out kinks, and they're planning on keeping the escape room open all year. They're anticipating also having the haunt run not only through the Halloween time period, but doing special one-offs for Christmas and Valentine's Day as well, and then revamping for next Halloween. So it won't be a year-round haunt, but certain pieces of this attraction will be open year-round. And it cost me 25 bucks to go through both houses, general line, no express. Everything was pulsed. I think they put like 5 or 6 minutes in between groups tonight when they were going through, and it was small groups of like 4 or 5 people per group going through. So digging the scares. As far as comparing this to Warehouse 31, I'm not sure how they rank yet. There's a lot that I need to process in order to try to kind of put a ranking together. I think we'll do that on the 4 Hauntsmen at some point, so that we can compare houses all across the state and maybe the houses that Paul's going to up in the Virginia, DC area as well. Alright, I'm back home. I am just going to interject something here because I wanted to look up a little bit more about 13th floor. There's actually 3 attractions in the 2 buildings that we went into. One of which is Legend of the Saw, which is kind of like Jackson Sawyer's name is spoken, and one day he snapped and murdered his entire family with his chainsaw, and then he went after the entire town. I believe that was the first set of scares that we went through. Then there's Dead End District, which is a little bit more of like zombie type stuff, and then we had Cursed Voodoo, which is another voodoo type house. I have to be 100% straight up honest. As far as the houses or the properties that you go through at 13th floor, you don't know what property you're going into from set to set to set because there's no signage. There's no signage outside as well that tells you what the properties are that you're going through, other than it's 13th floor and here's the stuff that you can't do, and you know, the warnings for heart conditions and stuff like that. I did enjoy 13th floor, but there wasn't really a story to go behind the properties that you were going through that you could tell. And like I said, the first act that you go through, which I am believing that was Legend of the Saw, was very good. I really enjoyed it. The dead end stuff that I believe was the second act was good also. The Cursed house had these gigantic animatronics that were phenomenal, like 2 stories tall. I can't gush enough about them. They were awesome. But throughout each of these houses or each of these sets, there were a lot of just blank walls or places to go with no actors as well. They do have a full staff of actors working in the houses, and there are plenty of scares to be had, you know, from down below and up above and coming through the walls and everything else. But there are a lot of spaces if you're used to going to haunts like Halloween Horror Nights or maybe Howl-O-Scream, etc., where there's literally like you know, no dead space and no black walls, as folks would refer to. There's a lot of black walls, and especially in the last house, there's an entire set at the end that is completely pitch black, and it's essentially like a maze. You start with kind of like that fog green laser type maze, and then move on to just complete blackness, where you're just basically feeling out walls and having actors yell at you through that period. I didn't particularly like that part. Not very effective. But overall, 13th floor, I think it was a good attraction. I think it was priced at like $25 for the walkthrough, for general type of walkthrough, and like I said, it was pulsed again, so pretty good. I'm not sure it's better than Warehouse 31, but again, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that on the Four Hauntsmen coming up. That's our podcast. For those that are not subscribed, you can check it out on YouTube or check it out on iTunes. But back to the video. That's going to do it for us. Super short from 13th floor. I always wish that I could show you a little bit more inside of the houses that we go to, but there's two things that stop us from doing so. One, for the bigger places like a Horror Nights or Howl-O-Scream, etc., they allow you to film on their media nights, not during the general time, so you're not disrupting anybody by holding a light up while you're in line. And two, when you go to some of these mom and pop or local haunts, they don't necessarily want you to be filming inside of their attractions either, because they don't want you to spoil it for anybody else that may be going to the event themselves. So on that note, we're going to say good night for now. We're in North Florida tonight. Tomorrow, South Florida, we will be in Boca Raton to go to Enigma Haunt. Thanks a lot for coming along tonight. Thank you very much for all of your likes and your comments and your subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. We'll see you guys.